All right, welcome back, everyone.
It's great to be here.
Today, we're diving into something fun and practical.
Yeah.
How to make the most out of dining experiences, you know? It's not just about the food on your plate.
No, it's the whole experience.
It's the atmosphere, the service.
Exactly.
Everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at some tips and phrases
Okay.
from a video we found all about upping our restaurant game.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And some of these are honestly so clever.
Oh.
I can't wait to try them out. I think you'll be surprised
Yeah.
by how a few well-placed words can lead to hidden gems on the menu, but also make the whole interaction, smoother, more enjoyable for everyone.
Totally. It makes a huge difference.
All right, so let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
This first tip is all about finding those hidden gems.
Okay.
The dishes that maybe aren't getting the spotlight they deserve. The video suggests asking things like, what are your most popular dishes? Or, can you recommend something based on my preferences?
I love that. Those are great starting points.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they tap into, well, some really powerful psychological principles.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when you ask about the popular dishes,
You're right.
you're basically using what's called social proof.
Social proof.
Yeah. And it's this fascinating tendency we have as humans to be influenced by what other people are doing or enjoying.
Like, oh, if everyone else likes it,
Yeah.
it must be good, right?
Exactly. There's a reason why restaurants highlight their most popular items. Right?
Yeah.
Studies have shown that
Yeah.
people are way more likely to choose something if they believe it's a crowd favorite,
Interesting.
especially when it comes to food. It reduces risk.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Increases that sense of trust.
So you're not going to end up with a dish that everybody's avoiding.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, now the other phrase, can you recommend something based on my preferences? Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's more to it
They're right.
than meets the eye.
There is.
It might seem on the surface
Right.
like you're just, looking for guidance.
Right.
But what it really does is invite the server to almost step into the role of an expert advisor.
Oh.
Someone who understands the menu
Gotcha.
and your tastes.
So it's less about just bring me something good and more about like, we're going to collaborate on this together.
Exactly. Like it triggers this sense of responsibility
Oh,
in the server.
interesting.
Like they want to live up to that expert title
Right.
and provide you with this truly personalized recommendation.
I see.
That's going to make you say, wow, they really get me.
That reminds me of when, I was at this amazing Thai restaurant and the menu was it was overwhelming. I had no idea what to order.
Yeah, I've been there.
And I told the server, I was like, look, I love bold flavors, good heat.
Okay.
And she steered me toward this incredible curry dish
Really?
that I never would have picked on my own.
Yeah.
It became like my go-to order. Wow, that's great.
At that restaurant. Just because I put my trust in her expertise,
That's a perfect example of how this simple phrase, right,
Yeah.
can unlock, I don't know, a whole new level of dining.
Yeah.
Right? You get to tap into their knowledge,
Yeah.
discover dishes, maybe you would have missed otherwise.
You would have just glossed over.
Yeah. And have a much more customized experience.
Okay, so those are great for maybe those safe bets or,
Yeah.
personalized picks.
Uh-huh.
But what about those times when you're feeling a little more adventurous?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
For the adventurous souls.
Okay.
There's a classic phrase
Okay.
that often leads to some really exciting culinary discoveries.
All right, lay it on me.
Is there a special today?
Ooh, the specials.
Yes.
Those always feel like a little treasure hunt,
They do.
What's so magical about the specials?
Well, specials are
Yeah.
where chefs often get to kind of flex their creative muscles,
Mm.
and showcase seasonal ingredients at their peak. It's their chance to experiment, to go off menu,
Mm-hmm.
and offer something truly unique. Think of it as like a glimpse into the chef's personal inspiration.
So it's not just about getting a deal,
No.
which is kind of what I always thought it was,
Yeah.
like, oh, the special, it's cheaper or whatever. But it's about
Yeah,
experiencing something that might not be anywhere else on the menu.
exactly. It's about stepping outside your comfort zone.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Embracing the element of surprise.
I love that.
And from a culinary perspective,
Okay.
right, it allows you to tap into the freshest, most seasonal ingredients,
Well,
which usually translates to more vibrant flavors.
That makes me want to ask about the specials every time now.
You should.
Okay, so we talked about finding hidden gems. We talked about embracing adventure.
Yes.
But what about those of us who like to be a little more, shall we say, in control
Okay, yes.
of our culinary destiny?
For those who prefer to take the reins, a couple of phrases can make all the difference.
Like what?
Things like, can I customize my order?
Okay.
Or what's the spice level of this dish?
Now, those are interesting
Yeah.
because I feel like they could go either way, you know?
For sure.
How do you ask those questions without sounding
Yeah.
high maintenance?
It's all in the approach.
Okay.
You're not demanding, you're inquiring.
Right.
So instead of saying, I want this dish without the onions,
Yeah.
you could say, I was wondering if it would be possible to have this dish without the onions.
Okay.
You see the difference.
I see. So it's about framing it as a request, not a command.
Exactly. You're acknowledging they have a set menu,
Right.
but you're also expressing your personal preference
Yeah.
in a way that's respectful
Yeah.
and collaborative.
And that spice level question, oh man,
Yeah.
that one has saved me from some serious culinary mishaps. I once ordered a dish that was described as mildly spicy. And let's just say my taste buds were on fire for the rest of the night.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Learned my lesson that day.
That's why it's so important to communicate, right?
Yeah.
Clearly about your spice tolerance.
Yeah.
Don't try to be a hero
Right.
if you can't handle the heat.
No.
Restaurants, they all have their own interpretation
Yeah.
of mild, medium, or spicy.
Absolutely.
So it's always best to ask for clarification.
All right. Speaking of clear communication, let's move on to a topic that's super important for a lot of diners.
Okay.
Dietary needs.
Yes.
The video highlights the phrase, do you have any gluten-free or vegan options?
Yeah, I mean, that seems simple,
Right.
but it can make a world of difference for someone with dietary restrictions.
It's not just about getting the right food. It's about feeling seen and accommodated, like
Yeah.
they've thought about me.
It shows that the restaurant is mindful of diverse dietary needs and that they're willing to go the extra mile to, make sure everyone has a positive experience.
All right. Now, for a phrase that might seem a little bold, but I think could be a game changer, can I have a taste before I order?
Ooh. Interesting.
I'll admit I've never had the courage to ask that.
Really?
Feels a little forward,
I get it.
doesn't it?
It can feel a bit unusual,
Yeah.
but in the right context,
Yeah.
it can be a perfectly acceptable request.
Okay.
Think about it this way. You're asking for a small sample
Right.
to help you make an informed decision.
Like a little preview to make sure you're truly going to love it.
Exactly.
When would this be appropriate, though?
Well, I think it's most appropriate in situations where the dish is unfamiliar.
Okay.
Maybe the description isn't clear on the menu.
Right.
Or you have some specific concerns about the flavor profile.
Gotcha.
Right. So, for example, if you're at a restaurant specializing in a cuisine you've never tried,
Yeah.
asking for a taste can be a really great way to explore new flavors
Right.
without committing to a full portion.
So it's about mitigating that risk of ordering something you're not going to enjoy.
Exactly.
But how do you phrase it in a way that doesn't offend anyone?
Well, again, it's all about the delivery.
Right.
You could say something like, I'm really intrigued by this dish, but I've never had anything like it before. Would it be possible to try just a small taste to see if it's to my liking?
That sounds much better than, hey, can I have a bite of that?
Right.
Okay.
You're framing it as a genuine request for information,
Yeah.
not a demand for free food.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense. Now, what about when you're dining with a group? The video suggests a couple of phrases that I think are really smart.
Okay.
What do you recommend for sharing? And can you explain the portion sizes?
Oh, those are fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
especially for navigating
Yeah.
kind of the social and logistical aspects of group dining.
Right.
Sharing plates can enhance the experience,
Sure.
but it requires, a bit of coordination.
Yeah.
So asking for recommendations
Yeah.
for sharing allows the server to guide you toward dishes that are well suited for splitting
Right?
and offer suggestions based on, the group's preferences.
It's like having a culinary curator help you create the perfect shared experience.
Exactly.
Right? So that-
And the portion size question,
Yeah.
crucial for both, managing costs
Yeah.
and minimizing food waste.
Yeah.
You don't want to end up with a table overflowing with food. Or worse, not enough to satisfy everyone.
That reminds me of this time I went to a tapas restaurant with some friends, and we totally overestimated the portion sizes.
Oh, yeah.
We ended up with this mountain of food and a hefty bill.
Yeah, that happens.
If we had just asked about the portions, we could have avoided that.
It's a common mistake.
Yeah.
But these simple questions can help you strategize your order.
Right.
And ensure everyone leaves satisfied without breaking the bank.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
From finding hidden gems to
Wow.
customizing orders to navigating group dynamics. But what about that final moment
Okay.
when you're ready to wrap things up?
Ah, yes. The art of the graceful exit.
There it is.
For this, the video recommends
Okay.
the phrase, "Can I get the check?" whenever you have a moment.
This seems like such a small thing,
It does.
but I can see how it makes the big difference. You're not rushing the server,
Right.
but you're also not making them wait around while you linger.
Exactly. It's about being respectful of their time
Yeah.
while also signaling your intention to leave.
It's that perfect balance of assertiveness and courtesy that can be so hard to strike.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
It shows you're mindful of their workflow,
Uh-huh.
but also taking ownership of your dining experience.
I love that. It's like a subtle power move
It is.
that benefits everyone, and it sets the stage for like a positive
Yeah.
and memorable
Yes.
ending to your dining experience.
It really does.
I'm already feeling more confident
Mm-hmm.
about navigating those tricky dining situations.
Good.
You know, it's funny how these seemingly simple phrases can have such a profound impact on the whole experience.
Absolutely.
What's been like the most eye-opening takeaway for you from all of this?
Oh, that's a great question. I think
Yeah.
for me, it's the reminder that dining out is a collaborative experience.
Okay.
You know, it's not just about
Yeah.
the diner getting what they want. It's about creating
Yeah.
a positive and enjoyable interaction
Yeah.
for everyone involved.
Like a dance
Yeah,
between the diner and the restaurant staff.
precisely. When we communicate clearly, right,
Yeah.
express our needs and preferences,
Yeah.
and treat the staff with respect,
Yeah.
it allows them to do their
Yeah.
best work
Right.
and create a more memorable experience
Yeah.
for everyone.
It's like we're all part of the same team working together to orchestrate a fantastic
Yes.
dining experience.
I love that.
Now,
Yeah.
I know we've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
but I'm curious to dig a little deeper into some of these phrases. Let's start with the one about finding hidden gems. What are your most popular dishes?
Okay.
What are some tips for using that phrase effectively?
It's all about the delivery.
Okay.
You want to come across
Yeah.
as genuinely curious
Right.
and enthusiastic,
Yeah.
not demanding or entitled.
So it's not just the words themselves, it's the energy
Yes, the energy behind it.
behind them.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Imagine approaching the server
Yeah.
with a smile, right? And say, "I'm really excited to try some of your best dishes. What are some of the crowd favorites?"
That sounds way more inviting than what's your most popular dish.
Right.
You're creating a conversational,
Yeah.
collaborative tone. You're also signaling that you're open to suggestions and that you trust their expertise.
Right.
And I bet it helps to be specific
Totally.
about your preferences, too.
Yes.
Like if you're in the mood for something light and refreshing, you could say, what are some of your most popular salads? Or lighter dishes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The more information you give the server,
Yeah.
the better equipped they'll be to make a recommendation that,
Yeah.
really aligns with your taste.
Now let's talk about
Okay.
customizing orders. I know this can be a tricky one,
Yeah,
especially if you don't want to come across as picky
sure.
or difficult.
The key here is to be polite
Okay.
and respectful.
Yeah.
Start by acknowledging that you understand they have a set menu
Right.
and that
Yeah.
you appreciate their willingness to accommodate your request.
So instead of saying, I want this dish without the tomatoes, you could say something like, I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. Would it be possible to have this dish without them?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
That's clear, concise, and non-confrontational.
Right.
Right.
You're stating your preference without being demanding.
Exactly.
And it's always a good idea to be prepared with alternative suggestions.
Yes.
Like, would it be possible to substitute the tomatoes with something else, like spinach,
Yes.
mushrooms?
Exactly. It shows that you're flexible.
Right.
willing to work with them
Yeah.
to find a solution that works for everyone.
And when it comes to spice level, I think it's
Yeah.
important, to be honest. At your tolerance.
Yes.
Don't try to be a hero if you can't handle the heat.
Right.
I've definitely learned that the hard way.
Me too.
Oh.
I agree. It's always best to err on the side of caution, right?
Yeah.
And ask for maybe a milder version if you're not sure. You can always add more spice later,
That's right.
but it's much harder to take it away.
It is. And it's okay to be specific
Yeah.
about your spice preferences. Like you could say, I like a little bit of heat, but I don't want it to be overwhelming. What would you recommend?
Exactly. That gives the server
Yeah.
a really clear understanding of your comfort zone
Right.
and allows them to guide you towards a dish that you'll truly enjoy.
All right. Let's shift gears a little bit
Mhm.
and talk about dietary needs.
Oh,
This is such an important topic.
That's so
and it's
cool.
one where clear communication is just absolutely essential.
couldn't agree more.
If you have a dietary restriction, it's so crucial to be upfront about it.
Yes.
You know, don't be shy about asking
You,
about gluten-free options,
Yeah.
vegan options, anything else that you need to make your meal safe and enjoyable.
absolutely. And it's helpful to be prepared
Yeah.
to explain your dietary needs in detail,
Yeah.
especially if you have allergies or sensitivities.
So give them the information.
Right. The more information you provide,
Right.
the better.
Yeah.
The restaurant can accommodate you. For
Yeah.
example, if you have a gluten allergy,
Right.
you might need to inquire about cross-contamination risks, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
In the kitchen.
Yeah.
And don't hesitate to ask
Yeah.
the server for guidance if you're not sure what to ask
Right.
or how to navigate the menu.
Right. Like they're there to help you.
Exactly, they are. They want you to have a positive and enjoyable experience.
All right.
And they're often well-versed in dietary restrictions
Right.
and can offer really valuable insights.
Okay. Now, for the phrase that initially made me a little nervous, can I have a taste before I order?
Mm,
I'm starting to see how this could be a valuable tool,
yeah.
but I'm still curious about the etiquette. When is it appropriate to use this phrase, and
Yeah.
how can you do it without feeling awkward?
Right. Well, I think it's most appropriate in situations where you're genuinely unsure about a dish,
Okay.
right? Perhaps because it's something you've never tried before,
Uh-huh.
or the description on the menu isn't clear, or you have specific concerns about the flavor profile.
Like if you see
Yeah.
a dish with ingredients you've never even heard of, or the description mentions a flavor combination that's a little out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the key is, 2, phrase your request in a way that is polite and non-confrontational. You could say something like, I'm really interested in this dish, but I'm not familiar with some of the ingredients. Would it be possible to try a small taste before I commit to a full order?
That sounds so much better than, can I have a look at that?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so you're framing it as a
Yeah,
request for information, a desire to make an informed decision,
right.
not a demand for free food.
Exactly. And, it's probably also a good idea to
Yeah.
gauge the restaurant's atmosphere
Right.
before you make such a request.
Right, like if it's a casual,
Yeah, if it's casual.
laid-back place, they might be more open to it. But if it's like
Yes.
white tablecloth,
Right.
fine dining, maybe not so much.
Exactly. It's about reading the room
Yeah.
and being respectful
Hmm.
of the restaurant's culture and policies.
Okay, let's move on to the phrases for group dining. Sharing plates is such a fun way to, create a more social interactive experience. But it can also be tricky if you're not careful.
For sure. What are your top tips for making it work smoothly?
Communication is key.
Okay.
Before you even start ordering,
Right.
talk to your group
Yeah.
about what kinds of dishes they're interested in,
Right.
any dietary restrictions or preferences,
Yeah.
and how adventurous, they're feeling.
Like a little pre-game strategy session
It is.
to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, and once you've kind of got a sense of everyone's tastes, right?
Right.
You can start asking the server for recommendations. Don't be afraid to be specific, right?
Yeah.
You could say something like, we're looking for a variety of dishes to share. Maybe something spicy, something savory, and something vegetarian.
That gives them a clear direction
Yes, exactly.
to be able to curate a selection
Yeah.
that appeals to everybody's palates.
And once the food arrives, encourage everyone to try a little bit of everything. It's all about sharing the experience,
Yeah.
exploring new flavors together. It's like a culinary adventure party.
Exactly.
And don't forget to ask about those portion sizes before you order.
Yes, especially important.
This is Especially important. If you're not familiar with the restaurant or the cuisine,
Right, because you don't want to.
you don't want to end up with that table overflowing with food,
Uh-huh.
or worse, not enough to satisfy everyone.
Exactly.
Oh, I've definitely been there. Eyes bigger than the stomach syndrome.
Oh, yeah,
It's always better to ask
it is.
than to be caught off guard.
Agreed. Now, speaking of ending the meal gracefully, let's revisit that phrase, can I get the check whenever you have a moment?
Yeah.
It's such a simple
Mm-hmm.
but effective way to signal your intention,
Uh-huh.
right, without putting any pressure on the server.
It's like a subtle nudge
It is.
that says, hey, we're ready when you are,
Exactly.
but we're not going to rush you.
It acknowledges that.
Yeah.
They may be busy with other tables, but it also gently lets them know that you're ready to move on when they have a free moment.
It's all about finding that sweet spot between assertiveness and courtesy.
Exactly. It's a skill
Yeah.
that can be applied in so many areas of life,
Yeah.
not just in restaurants.
It's about respecting
Yeah.
other people's time and needs
Yes.
while also advocating for your own.
Well said.
Yeah.
It's about finding that delicate balance that allows everyone to feel comfortable and respected.
So we've explored
I know,
a
right?
whole arsenal of phrases today, from
Right.
finding hidden gems to customizing orders to navigating group dynamics. But is there anything else that stands out to you from this deep dive? Any final thoughts or insights you'd like to share?
I think what's fascinating to me is how these phrases, while practical on the surface,
Yeah.
also reveal a deeper desire we have as diners. It's like we're not just there for the food.
Right.
We're craving connection,
Yeah.
exploration, and a sense of
Okay.
shared experience.
I love that.
Right.
It's true.
And they're almost like these little keys
Yeah.
that unlocks
Yeah.
a richer, more fulfilling dining experience
Yeah.
for everyone at the table.
Yeah.
Becomes less transactional
Yeah.
and more like
Yeah.
a collaborative journey.
Exactly. We're not just passive recipients of food. We're active participants in the creation of something special.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
It's a partnership
Right.
between the diner
Yeah.
and the restaurant.
Mhm.
A shared goal of crafting a memorable experience.
And when that synergy happens, it elevates the whole meal to something truly extraordinary. It becomes more than just a meal.
Yeah.
It becomes an event, a story you want to tell your friends about.
Absolutely.
And that's the power of communication.
It is.
It bridges that gap between
Yeah,
what we want as
Yeah.
diners
Right.
and what the restaurant aims to provide.
exactly.
Okay, before we wrap up this deep dive, I have one final question for you. We've talked about how these phrases can transform our dining experiences. But do you think these communication strategies have applications beyond the restaurant? Could they be valuable tools in the honor?
Other areas of our lives?
Like what if we applied these principles to our relationships,
Yeah.
our work?
I think that's such a brilliant insight because
Yeah.
absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Think about clear communication,
Mm-hmm.
respectful inquiry,
Mm-hmm.
the willingness to express your needs
Yeah.
and preferences. These are valuable skills in any context.
That's not just about
Right.
getting that perfectly cooked steak.
Yeah.
It's about navigating the world with more intention
Yes.
and grace.
Precisely. Whether you're, I don't know, negotiating a business deal,
Yeah.
planning a trip with friends, or even just having a conversation
Mm.
with your family, these same principles
Right.
can help you create more positive and fulfilling interactions.
It's like we've stumbled upon a masterclass in human connection,
I love that.
disguised as a
Yep.
guide to restaurant etiquette.
Who knew ordering a meal could be so profound?
It's amazing how those seemingly small interactions can reveal so much about
Yeah.
the dynamics of communication
Yeah.
and connection.
I completely agree. It's fascinating.
I love that. It's such an empowering message, and it leaves me feeling inspired to put these principles into practice, not just in restaurants,
Yeah.
but in all areas of my life.
As you should. I hope our listeners feel the same way.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yes.
I want to encourage you all to experiment with these phrases, see how they can transform your dining experiences, and maybe even ripple out into other areas of your lives. And if you discover any new tips or tricks along the way,
Yeah.
be sure to share them with us. We're always eager to learn from our amazing community.
And remember, dining out it's more than just about the food, right?
Yeah.
It's about connection, exploration,
Yeah.
and creating memories. That will last a lifetime.
Beautifully said. Until next time, happy dining, everyone.
Other areas of our lives.
Yeah, like, what if we applied these principles to our relationships or our work?
Oh, I think that's a brilliant insight.
Yeah.
Because absolutely,
Yeah.
think about it, clear communication,
Mm-hmm.
respectful inquiry, the willingness to express your needs and preferences.
Yeah.
These are valuable skills in any context.
It's not just about
Right.
getting the perfect steak.
Yeah.
It's about navigating the world with more intention
Yes.
and grace.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Whether you're, I don't know, negotiating a business deal or planning a trip with friends or even just having a conversation with your family, these same principles can
Right.
help you create more positive and fulfilling interactions.
It's like we've stumbled upon a masterclass in human connection,
I love that.
disguised as a guide to restaurant etiquette.
Who knew ordering a meal could be so profound?
Right. It's amazing how those seemingly small interactions can reveal so much about the dynamics of communication and connection.
I completely agree. It's fascinating.
I love that. It's such an empowering message, and it leaves me feeling inspired to put these principles into practice, not just in restaurants, but in all areas of my life.
As you should. And I hope our listeners feel the same way.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to encourage you all to experiment with these phrases. See how they can transform your dining experiences and maybe even ripple out into other areas of your lives. And if you discover any new tips or tricks along the way, be sure to share them with us. We're always eager to learn from our amazing community.
And remember, dining out is more than just about the food.
Yes.
It's about connection, exploration,
Yeah.
and creating memories that will last a lifetime.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Until next time, happy dining, everyone.